was a good weekend.
Okay, that's good. What'd you do?
I went to a house to help a friend to set there, and then I went out with my landlady, sorry.
Okay. You went out with your landlady. Like, you went out at night with your landlady, or you went out to
Uh,
lunch or
In
breakfast?
in the evening for a dessert,
For what?
a dessert,
I'm not sure what you mean.
kind of a happy hour with a dessert.
Okay. Um, nice. Okay, that sounds good. Uh,
Didn't understand, but it's okay.
I know what a happy hour is. Um, all right. Uh,
Mm,
I'm not sure what the cert is. Maybe if you write it in the chat box, that might help. For dessert.
mm, Dessert.
Okay,
Okay.
dessert. Right. Okay. Nice. And Jose, how's it going?
Hello, Joshua. I'm doing very well. Thanks for asking. And you?
I'm doing pretty well, thanks. Yeah. What have you been up to today, Jose?
It was a normal Sunday. In the morning, I was walking with my family, and after that, I had lunch. In the evening, I was at home.
Okay. Nice. Sounds like a good Sunday though. Relaxing. Um,
Yeah.
Tommaso, welcome to class. Tommaso, how are you doing?
Ah, very well, very well. It was a good day for me, although the weather was not so beautiful in the north of Italy.
Okay. So good day, bad weather. What'd you do?
I work for an Italian public agency.
Okay. Publishing agency?
No, 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 no. Public agency for the government, I mean.
Oh, okay.
Public administration.
Hmm. I work in a I work in public administration for the government, maybe?
Yes,
Okay. Okay. And you're from Italy. What do you like to do
yes.
for fun?
Ah, a lot of things, especially sport. Like I live near to the mountain. Here there are a lot of activity to do outdoor, winter sport or during the summer excursions. But I'm originally from Tuscany, from a place close to the seaside. So I love the sea and the beach.
Nice. Okay. One small thing we would say close to the mountains or near the mountains. Um,
Okay.
so no preposition when you're using near. But okay, good. Uh, and Wilson, welcome to class. How's it going, Wilson?
Everything is okay. Thank you.
Nice. Good to hear. And good to have you back. Wilson, have you done anything exciting all weekend?
The weekend? No, no, nothing special. I just go out with my family, shopping, and to this afternoon I went to the movies.
Okay. What did you
Yes.
say?
Ana Carolina, help me. Atividade paranormal. Como
Paranormal activity.
Paranormal activity. Sorry, sorry.
paranormal activity. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
My daughter
Okay.
liked this kind of movie, so I went with
Oof.
her.
Scary movies are not my cup of tea,
Yeah,
but okay.
it's repetitive in this case because it's the fourth or fifth film movie of the same how can I say the same history. So, but
Mm-hmm.
it was fun to be with her.
Okay. Nice.
Okay.
And we also have Adela. How's it going?
I'm fine, thanks. And you?
Doing well, thanks. Good weekend, Adela? How was your weekend?
Relaxing because it's raining. Bueno, it's raining in this moment too in
Okay.
Valencia.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's not so good to walk or to go out.
No, not the best weather to go out in. All right. Yeah, well, hopefully the weather gets a little bit better later this week. But good. And Abdul, welcome to class. Abdul, how's it going?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you, teacher?
Doing well, thanks. Abdul, I don't recognize the picture that you have. Have I had a class with you before?
Which class? This class?
Have I had any classes with you before?
No, this first class for me.
Okay, where are you from, Abdul?
I'm from Saudi Arabia.
Okay, nice. And what do you do for fun? What do you like to do?
I like travel.
Okay,
Like travel a lot, yeah.
okay. I like to travel. Or I like traveling.
Yeah, to traveling.
Yeah, nice. Okay, good. And welcome to class. Good to meet you. I
Thank
think
you.
that's all of us. Let's go into this story. And let's have Julieta. Can you read the title in the first paragraph?
Shooting an elephant, George Orwell. In Moulmein, in Lower Burma, I was headed by large numbers of people. The only time in my life that I have been important enough for this to happen to me. I was sub-divisional police officer of the town, and in an aimless, petty kind of way anti-European feeling was very bitter. No one had the guts to raise a riot, but if a European woman went through the bazaar alone, somebody would probably spit Beetlejuice over her dress. As a police officer, I was an obvious target and was baited whenever it seemed safe to do so.
Good. Betelgeuse.
Beetlejuice.
Nice. And I was hated.
Hated.
Good. Any questions?
What's battle?
It's a red sort of juice that is commonly chewed in India and Burma and that area. It stains people's teeth red. It's kind of like tobacco, but it's just a different. It's betel.
Mm,
Um, if you're
and
baited,
baited.
if somebody's baiting you, it's like you put bait on a fishing hook when you're fishing, and a fish will bite the bait. So people are doing things to him in an attempt to get him to be irritated or angry or, in order to make a fool out of him. So they're like they're doing things to antagonize him, we would say, is when you're baiting somebody. Make sense? So we'll get an example in the next little paragraph. Jose, can you read the next paragraph?
Okay. When nimble barman tripped me up on the football field and the referee, another barman, looked the other way. The crowd yelled with hideous laughter. This happened more than once. In the end, the sneering yellow faces of young men that met me everywhere. The insults shouted after me when I was at a safe distance got badly on my nerves. The young bad-faced prize were the worst of all. There were several thousands of them in the town, and none of them seemed to have anything to do except stand on street corners and yell at Europeans.
Good. Is somebody spray painting? Jose?
Yes,
Somebody is spray painting?
no,
Oh, okay. I'm not sure where the noise is coming from. What is that
okay.
noise? The can that sounds like it's being sprayed? Is that in your house?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. That's an interesting noise. Buddhist priests. Can you repeat Buddhist priests?
Buddhist priest.
Yeah. Sneering.
Sneering.
Hideous.
Hideous. Hideous.
And okay, so let's. Sneering is like when you make a face that is not very pleasant. You're like when you're making fun of somebody or you're mocking somebody, you can sneer because you're like looking down on them. Um, yeah, if you're jeering, again, it's something very similar to sneering. Jeering is like yelling in a way that makes fun of somebody would be jeering. So if somebody in a soccer game misses the goal, the crowd can jeer at them. So like they yell at them, call them an idiot, be like, "What are you doing, you stupid?" That would be kind of a jeering. If you're hooting, again, same kind of thing. It's like yelled in a high-pitched way. So yeah, owls will hoot. Um, yeah, so if you're just making fun of somebody, you're yelling at them in a certain way. Hopefully that makes sense. Tommaso, can you read the next little paragraph?
Yes. All this was perplexing and upsetting, for at the time I had already made up my mind that imperialism was an evil thing, and the sooner I chuked up my job and got out of it, the better. Theoretically, and secretly of course, I was all for the Burmese, and all against their oppressors, the British. As for the job I was doing, I hated it more bitterly than I can perhaps make clear. In a job like that you see the dirty work of empire at close quarters. The wretched prisoners holding in the sticking cage of the lock-up, the grey cowed face of the long-term convicts, the scarlet buttocks of the men who had been flogged with bamboos. All this oppressed me with an intolerable sense of guilt, but I could get nothing into perspective.
Okay, good. For that time,
Okay, for at that time,
for that time,
for at that time,
for that time, for that time.
for that time.
Yeah, close there. So for at that, we just want to emphasize the that. So for at that time, I had already made up my mind.
Okay, for at that time, I already made up my mind.
Imperialism,
Imperialism,
uh, evil was an evil thing.
evil, evil thing,
Evil, evil.
evil.
Good. Chucked.
I chucked.
Theoretically.
Theoretically,
Yeah, theoretically.
theoretically,
Huddling,
huddling,
huddling. The scarred.
scarred,
Buttocks,
buttocks,
flogged.
flogged.
Okay. And we're talking about chucked up. In this case, would be left. Generally, chucked up is like vomited, spit up, but he's trying to say like got out of my job. Cowed faces. If somebody is a cow or has been cowed, they're like their faces become like cows. They're passive. But if it's a human that has been cowed, it's generally they've been made passive by violence. So that's why they look cowed. He's a police officer in the Empire, in the British Empire in Burma, is what he's doing. And so the wretched prisoners are like the miserable people who are locked up for doing crimes. If you're huddling, you're like close together, so you're keeping together for warmth or for safety. That would be huddling. Yeah, they're scarred butts from being flogged. Flogged is like whipped with bamboo sticks, so they're being whipped with bamboo sticks, and it has scarred their skin on their butts. Yeah, and hopefully that makes sense. Let's have Wilson. Can you read the next paragraph?
Okay. I was young and ill-educated and had to think out my problems in the utter silence that is imposed on every Englishman in the East. I did not even know that the British Empire is dying. Still less did I know that it's a great deal better than the younger empires that are going to supplant it. All I knew was that I was stuck between my hatred of the empire I served and my rage against the evil spirit, little beast, who tried to make my job impossible. With one with one part of my mind I thought of the British Raj as an unbreakable tyranny, as something clamped down in a secula seculorum upon the will of prostrate peoples. With another part I thought that the greatest joy in the world would be to drive a bayonet into the Buddhist priest's guts. Feelings like these are the normal byproducts of imperialism. Ask my Anglo-Indian official. You can catch him off duty.
Okay. Educated.
Educated. Ill-educated.
Educated. Educated.
Educated.
My hatred.
Hatred. Hatred. Hatred.
Evil-spirited.
Evil-spirited. Evil-spirited.
The bayonet.
Bayonet. Bayonet.
And if you can catch him off duty.
If you can catch him off duty.
Good. Questions here.
Okay. Hatred. My
Hatred.
hatred.
So
Hatred.
extreme dislike.
Hatred. Extreme dislike. Okay.
Yeah, hatred. Okay, so he's got these two feelings. He hates the British Empire and the fact that he's part of it, but he's prostrate is like lying down. Yeah, the prostrate people, kind of pathetic. Not quite. It's more like subjugated. It's like made subject to. Does that make sense? Any other? Oh, yeah. Okay. And that was Wilson. Let's have Abdul. Maybe.
Yes, teacher.
Can you read the next paragraph?
Okay. One day something happened, which in a roundabout way was eliciting. It was a tiny incident in its full, but it gave me a better glimpse than I had before of the real natural of imperialism, the real motives for which this despotic governments act. Early one morning, the sub-inspector at a police station the other end of the town rang me up on the phone and said that an elephant was ravaging the bazaar. Would I please come and do something about it? I I didn't know what I could do, but I wanted to see what was happening, and I got onto pony and started out. I took my rifle and old 44 Winchester and much too small to kill an elephant, but I thought the nose might be useful in termor
Latin.
and
I would say terrorem.
terrorism. Various parents stopped me on the way and told me about the elephant's doing. It was not, of course, a wild elephant, but a team one which had gone most
Good. Tame. Can you repeat tame?
tame.
Various. Various.
Various
Noise.
noise.
And I got onto a pony.
I got onto a pony.
A bazaar.
A bazaar.
Ravaging.
Oh. What ravaging mean, teacher?
Ravaging is like ripping through, destroying. Ravaging. And then sub-inspector.
Inspectors. Sub-inspectors.
Despotic.
Despotic.
Imperialism.
Imperialism.
Good. Nature. Can you repeat nature?
Nature.
Itself.
Itself.
Itself. Itself.
Itself.
Itself.
Itself.
Incident.
Incident.
And enlightening.
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 Good. Okay. Yeah, tame is like a trained pet. Clamp down. Gone must is it's a period when an elephant is trying to mate and the males become really, really aggressive. Clamp down when you try to like stop something. Yeah, in terrorem is Latin. It's like he's not going to kill the elephant with his gun, but he might scare it. And Adela, can you read the next paragraph?
It had been chained up as tame elephants always are when their attack of must is due. But on the previous night it had broken its chain and escaped. Its mahout, the only person who could manage it when it was in that state, had set out in pursuit, but had taken the wrong direction and was now 12 hours' journey away, and in the morning the elephant had suddenly reappeared in the town. The Barnes population had no weapons and were quite helpless against it. It had already destroyed somebody's bamboo hut, killed a cow and raided some fruit stall and devoured the stock. Also, it had met the municipal rubbish van, and when the driver jumped out and took to his heels, had turned the van over and inflicted violence upon it.
Okay, good. So words that you don't know, raided is if you raid somebody, it's like you attack something in order to steal what is in it. So yeah, you can like raid a town or raid a barn, raid something. You go in aggressively in order to steal what's in it. A stall is kind of like a booth, Anna Carolina, so it's like something where things are held. Um, Often this would be set up on the street. Devoured the stock. It's like you ate what was in it. You ate everything that was in stock.
It's crazy, no? The elephant.
Yeah, it's gone must, so that it's an aggressive kind of like meeting thing. Mating. Violences. Can you repeat violences?
Violences.
And inflicted.
Inflicted.
Jumped.
Jumped.
Devoured.
Devoured.
Yeah, devoured. Fruit stalls.
Stalls. Fruit stalls. Fruit stalls.
Weapons.
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 Barnes.
Burmese.
Barnies.
Pursuit.
Pursuit.
Escaped.
Escaped.
And escaped.
Escaped.
A mahout is like a trainer, and again, Anna Carolina, raided is when you aggressively enter a place in order to steal something. But yeah, a mahout would be like a trainer. It's not an English word. I believe it's a Burmese word. So yeah, it's the person who could manage the elephant. Good. And that's okay. And Anna Carolina, can you read the next one?
Okay, could you scroll up?
Scroll up.
Yes. Okay. No. Okay. The bonus sub-inspector. No, teacher. Oh gosh.
I
The
don't know how
bonus.
to.
It's okay. The Burmese sub-inspector and some Indian constables were waiting for me in the quarter where the elephant had been seen. It was a very poor quarter, a labyrinth of squatted bamboo huts thatched with palm leaf, weeding all over a steep hillside. I remember that it was a cloudy, stuffy morning at the beginning of the rains. We began questioning the people as to where the elephant had gone and, as usual, failed to get any definite information. That's invariably the case that in the Easter story always sounds clear enough at a distance, but the nearer you get to the scene of events, the vaguer it becomes.
Nice. Okay. Good reading. Really nicely done. Let's look at thatched.
Thatched.
Thatched. Thatched.
Thatched.
Winding.
Winding.
All over a steep hillside.
All over a steep hillside.
Nice. Well done. And then vaguer.
Vaguer. So winding, no, it's not a wind blowing. It's winding. It's something else. What's the meaning?
So winding is like going from side to side. Winding.
Okay, I thought it was winding.
Okay. No, winding. So like a winding path is a path that isn't straight.
Okay,
winding back.
the spelling is the same. But it's another word.
We actually don't have a word that would mean winding.
Okay, sorry.
Windy, you could say. No, it's okay. Don't be sorry at all.
Okay.
Thatched. It's covered with leaves for roofing. So you use different types of leaves to roof a building. So instead of having like a metal roof or a wooden roof, you're using leaves or grass or something else that will keep the rain out of your house. So it would be thatching. And okay. Constables are like police officers pretty much. Um, yeah, good. And let's go. Julieta, can you read this next part?
Some of the people said that the elephant had gone in one direction, some said that he had gone in another, some professed not even to have heard of any elephant. I had almost made up my mind that the whole story was a pack of lies, when we heard yells a little distance away. There was a loud, scandalized cry of "Go away, child! Go away this instant!" and an old woman with a switch in her hand came around the corner of a hut, violently shooting away a crowd of naked children. Some more women followed, clicking their tongues and exclaiming. Evidently there was something that the children ought not to have seen.
Okay, shooing.
Shooing.
So if you're like shooing something away, you're kind of pushing it away. Yeah, you're pushing something away. Naked.
Naked.
Any other questions? The corner of a hut is just like literally the angle where the cut is, where the hut is. So the corner is just the edge. And sorry, clicking. Like get away. You just make a sound with your noise. It's like a snapping sound or a clicking sound. Yeah, and let's have Jose. Can you read the next paragraph?
Okay. His face was rounded.
His face?
I rounded his face.
Oh, sorry,
I
no.
rounded.
Yeah.
I rounded the hut and I saw a man's dead body sprawling in the mud. He was an Indian, a black Dravidian coolie, almost naked, and he could not have been dead many minutes. The people said that the elephant had come suddenly upon him, rolled the corner of the hut, caught him with its trunk, put its foot on his back, and ground him into the earth. This was the rainy season, and the ground was soft, and his face had scored a trench a foot deep and a couple of yards long. He was lying on his belly, with arms crucified and head sharply twisted to on one side.
Sharply. Get that?
Sharply.
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 Yeah. Sharply. Good.
Sharply.
Sprawling is when you're like lying without containing your limbs, like you're lying wide. Yeah, that would be without like containing yourself or without controlling yourself, sprawling. The elephant had come around the corner, so he'd been hidden, and then he comes around, catches this person with his trunk, puts its foot on, and then grinds him into the earth, so it's like pressing him into the earth. A hut is like a really poor house, a really cheaply made house would be a hut. You score a trench. It's like cutting a trench, kind of. If you're like burning something, you're scoring the ground. With fire, you're scoring the ground with like a plow too. It's like leaving a mark on the ground. I don't know what you mean by an open space to walk. Yeah, scored a trench, again, cutting a trench.
Because I don't get scored a trench.
Okay, so like when you make a fire, you're staining the ground. You're also scoring a trench. It's like you're cutting a trench. So the elephant has cut a trench in the ground, just like with the man.
Yes, I was imagining the elephant to open a space to walk.
not a space to walk. It's just like a hole almost, or like a long hole.
Okay.
A coolie, it's like a type of a caste of Indian. So it's just a caste that's specific to them. He would be a very poor person in this case. And Jose, can you read the next part?
Because I read it just now.
Oh, sorry. Tommaso, can you read the next part?
Okay. His face was coated with mud, the eyes wide open, the teeth bared, and grinning with an expression of unendurable agony. Never tell me, by the way, that death looked peaceful. Most of the corpses I have seen look devilish. The fiction of the great beast's foot had stripped the skin from his face as neatly as one skins a rabbit. As soon as I saw the dead man, I sent an orderly to a friend's house nearby to borrow an elephant rifle. I had already sent back the pony, not waiting it to go mad with fright and throw me if it smelled the elephant.
Okay. Teeth bared.
Teeth bared,
Unendurable.
unendurable,
Unendurable. Devilish.
devilish,
And the beasts.
the beast, beast,
His back.
his back,
Neatly.
neatly,
Okay. Unendurable is something that you cannot stand, you cannot put up with. So something that is unendurably painful is just very, very painful. So painful that you cannot put up with it or maintain the pain. Teeth bared, it's like your teeth are open, kind of like a dog baring its teeth is aggressive. It looks like it's going to bite you. So yeah, his teeth were bared and grinning. Devilish is again like the devil. Hopefully that makes sense. And Wilson, can you read the next paragraph?
Okay. The orderly came back in a few minutes with a rifle and 5 cartridges, and meanwhile some Burmans had arrived and told us that the elephant was in the paddy fields below, only a few hundred yards away. As I started forward, practically the whole population of the quarter flocked out of the houses and followed me. They had seen the rifle and were all shouting excitedly that I was going to shoot the elephant. They had not shown much interest in the elephant when he was merely ravaging their homes, but it was different now that he was going to be shot.
Good. Really nicely done. Ravaging.
Ravaging, ravaging,
The
ravaging.
whole population.
The role population, the role,
Whole.
role. As the
No
word
W.
role,
Whole.
as the word role. Yes, the same pronunciation.
Whole.
Role, whole population.
And cartridges.
Cartridges, cartridges, cartridges. Okay.
So they flocked out. So in a group, they ran from their homes. So a flock is like a group of birds. And what he's saying here is the whole population of the quarter ran together out of their houses and followed the narrator. And a rice paddy, a paddy is like a field that is kind of full of water where you grow rice. So generally it's only a field where you grow rice as a paddy. And okay, let's have Abdul. Can you read the next paragraph?
It was a bit of fun to them, as it would be an English crowd. Besides, they wanted the meat. It made me visually uneasy. I had no intention of shooting the elephant. I had merely sent for the rifle to defend myself and necessary, and it is always encouraging to have a crowd following you. I marched down the hill, looking and feeling a fool, with the rifle over my shoulder and an ever-growing army of people jostling at my heels.
Really nice job. Jostling? Jostling?
Jostling,
Good job. Marched?
marched,
Unnerved.
unnerving,
Defend?
descend,
Defend, sorry. Defend.
defend,
Defend. And shooting.
shooting,
Intention.
intention,
Vaguely.
vaguely,
As it would be to an English crowd.
to be an English,
As it would be to an English crowd.
as it would be to an English crowd.
Good. Jostling is like pushing and shoving and trying, like fighting for a space in front would be jostling. So it's like this kind of like, it's not an aggressive pushing or shoving, but it's a pushing and shoving in order to get to the front. So if you're in a crowd at a concert, there's lots of like jostling. Yeah, just pushing and shoving. Hopefully that all makes sense. Adela, can you read the next paragraph?
At the bottom, when you got away from the huts, there was a metalled road, and beyond that a mighty waste of paddy fields 1,000 yards across, not yet ploughed, but soggy from the first rain, and dotted with coarse grass. The elephant was standing 8 yards from the road, his left side towards us. He took not the slightest notice of the crowd's approach. He was tearing up bunches of grass, beating them against his knees to clean them and stuffing them into his mouth.
Good. Okay. There was a metalled road.
Metal road.
Yeah, there's a metalled road. So it's like a road that's made of metal. The miry.
Miry.
This is kind of like a muddy, swampy place, a mire. So a miry waste is just like a muddy, swampy field. Again, we're talking about these paddy fields. Coarse.
Coarse.
Yeah, which is thick, thick grass, not clean grass, really. Tearing.
Tearing up.
Bunches.
Bunches.
Okay, good. And plowed, really nice job with that. I think that's the English pronunciation. The American would be plowed like that. But plowed is fine as well. And if there are no other questions, Anna Carolina, can you read the next paragraph? Soggy is wet.
I had halted on the road as soon as I saw the elephant. I knew with perfect certainty that I ought not to shoot him. It is a serious matter to shoot a working elephant. It's comparable to destroying a huge and costly piece of machinery, and obviously one ought not to do with it can possibly be avoided. And at that distance, peacefully eating, the elephant looked no more dangerous than a cow. I thought then, and I think now, that his attack of must was already passing off, in which case we would merely wander harmlessly about until the mahout came back and caught him. Moreover, I did not in the least want to shoot him. I decided that I would watch him for a little while to make sure that he did not turn savage again, and then go home.
Machinery?
Machinery?
Savage.
Savage.
Questions? Moreover is like furthermore. Also. Okay. Good. And let's have Julieta, can you read the next paragraph?
At that moment, I glanced round at the crowd that had followed me. It was an immense crowd, 2,000 at least, and growing every minute. It blocked the road for a long distance on either side. I looked at the sea of yellow faces above the garish-clothed faces, all happy and excited over this bit of fun, all certain that the elephant was going to be shot. They were watching me, and they would watch a conjurer about to perform a trick. They did not like me, but with the magical rifle in my hands, I was momentarily worth watching, and suddenly I realized that I should have to shoot the elephant after all. The people expected it of me, and I had got to do it. I could feel their 2,000 wheels pressing me forward irresistibly.
Really nicely done. Conjurer.
Conjured. Say it again.
Yeah. Conjurer.
Conjure.
Conjurer. Conjurer.
Conjure.
Nice. There you go. That's a tricky like. It's just a magician. And I had got to do it. This is like a really British thing to say. We would say, and I had to do it in the U.S. But had got to, again, would be very British. George Orwell was British. Okay, and any other questions? Doesn't look like it. Again, if you do have questions, try to write them in the chat box so we can get to the end of this. Jose, can you read the next paragraph? Jose?
Yes, I'm here. And it was at this moment, as I stood there with the rifle in my hands, that I first graced the hollowness, the futility of the white man's dominion in the earth. Here was I, the white man with his gun, standing in front of the unheard native crowd, seemingly the leading actor of the piece, but in reality I was only an absurd puppet, pushed to and fro by the will of those yellow faces behind. I perceived in this moment that when the white man turns tyrant, it is his own freedom that he destroys. He becomes a sort of hollow, posing dummy, the conventionalized figure of a sahib.
Nice. Conventionalized.
Conventionalized. Conventionalized.
And east.
East.
Futility.
East. Futility.
And grasp.
Grasped. Grasped.
Okay. And to and fro is one way and the other way. Yeah. Does that make sense? To and fro? So you're being pushed one way and then the other way by the will of the people. So the will is like the power, like, yeah, the will. The desires of the native crowd. So pushed to and fro by the desires, the wants of those other people. Okay, good. And any other questions? Sahib is like a don, I think, in Arabic. It's like a don or a mister. Like a lord, kind of. Okay, and let's have Abdul. Can you read the next paragraph?
For it is the condition of his rule that he shall spend his life in trying to impress the natives, and so in very crisis he has got to do what the natives expect of him. However, a mask and his face grows to fight it. I had got to school the elephant. I had committed myself to doing it when I sent for the rifle. A ship has got to act like a ship. He has got to appear resolute, to know his own mind, and do definite things to come all that way. Rifle in hand, with 2,000 people marching at my heels, and then to trail feebly away, having done nothing. No, that was impossible. The crowd would laugh at me, and my whole life, every rich man's life in the East, was one long struggle not to be laughed at.
Okay. Laughed at.
Laughed at.
Good. White.
White.
Whole.
Whole.
Feebly. Trail feebly.
Trail feebly.
Rifle.
Rifle.
Definite.
Definite.
Sahib.
Sahib.
Yeah, I don't really know how to pronounce that. I think it's Arabic, so I'm not really sure. But it is something more similar to Sahib. Shoot. And then he wears a mask. He wears a mask.
He wears a mask.
Every. Impress. Good. And Adela, can you read the next paragraph?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can active the mic. Sorry, but I did not want to shoot the elephant. I watched him beating his bunch of grass against his knees with that preoccupied, grandmotherly air that elephants have. It seemed to me that it would be murder to shoot him. At that age, I was not squeamish about killing animals, but I had never shot an elephant and never want to. Somehow, it always seemed worse to kill a large animal. Besides, there was the beast's owner to be considered. Alive, the elephant was worth at least £100. Did he would only be worth the value of his task, £5 possible. But I had got to act quickly. I turned to some experienced-looking barman who had been there when we arrived, and asked them how the elephant had been behaving. They all said the same thing. He took no notice of you if you left him alone, but he might charge if you went too close to him.
Good. He might charge.
I charge.
Possibly.
Possibly.
Tusks.
Tasks.
Beasts.
Beasts.
Wanted.
Wanted. Seemed. No?
Seemed. He seemed.
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 Good. Okay. A tusk is the piece of ivory on an elephant's face. It's kind of like a horn, but they're long, kind of like aggressive teeth made of ivory on an elephant. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. Well done. Ana Carolina, can you read the next part?
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. What's up, Adela?
No, the material of task is marfil, is same?
Ivory.
No, that's marble. Marfil?
No.
I think ivory.
Ivory.
I'm not sure actually what it is in Spanish. I look it up. Hold on one sec. Ana Carolina, can you read for this?
Thank you.
Ivory is marfil in Spanish.
Okay. Perfect.
Thank you. It was perfectly. Sorry. It was perfectly clear to me what I ought to do. I ought to walk up to within, say, 25 yards on the elephant and test his behavior. If he charged, I could shoot. If he took no notice of me, it would be safe to leave him until the mahout came back. But also, I knew that I was going to do no such thing. I was a poor shot with a rifle, and the ground was so soft mud into which one would sink at every step. If the elephant charged, and I missed him, I should have about as much chance as a toad under a steamroller. But even then I was not thinking particularly on my own skin, only the watchful yellow faces behind. For at that moment, with the crowd watching me, I was not afraid in the ordinary sense, as I would have been if I had been alone. A white man mustn't be frightened in front of natives, and so, in general, he isn't frightened. The sole thought in my mind was that if anything went wrong, those 2,000 Burmans would see me pursued,
Keep
caught,
reading.
trampled on, and reduced to a grinning corpse like eaten up the hill. And if it and sorry, And if that happened, it was quite probably that some of them would laugh. That would never do.
Good. Pursued.
Pursued.
And a grinning corpse.
A grinning corpse. I tried to read it really fast,
You
Jorge.
did a nice job. Yeah, thank you. We are close to the end. We're not that close to the end. Shoot. So we've got another, like a little bit more than a page left to this. We are out of time. The end of the story is really good. I will get an elephant. It's really a shame that we can't get to the end of this, but I'll get you a link and I'll post it. If you guys want to read the rest of it, feel free to ask me questions.
Thank you.
But yeah, that's the rest of the link. And thanks again for coming in. Hopefully you enjoyed what we've read of the story. And hopefully I'll see you soon.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.